I play Terraria as the Druid class. Instead of using a sword or a bow, I'm going to be using the power of nature. From using staves with elemental guardians to upgradable spirits, can I use the Druid class to defeat Mr. Squiggles? Or will I give up after dying too much? Enough of me talking, here's the video. So little Adrian spawned in and found a life bloom enemy, and already the vegans were attacking me. I chopped down some trees, a beetle came out for some reason, and I crafted my first Druid Stave weapon. So here we go, is a quick explanation. Druids can use 3 types of weapons. Staves, which are staffs that shoot out stuff, seedbags that can summon plants that shoot out stuff, and then spirit weapons that can summon upgradable spirits that can also might shoot out stuff. So basically in summation, druids can use sticks, plants, and spirits. Sounds legit. So no, we're not going to use vegetables to kill some Lovecraftian monsters, at least not yet. But anyway, our stave shot out acorns and can summon this fairy looking thing, and honestly progress was looking great because I already have my own Tinkerbell to kill enemies. I took a pit stop in the snow biome and looted a blizzard in a bottle and ice skates. I went home, made some crafting stations, and I came to the realization that nature was pretty fun. Using these acorns in fairy was great, I felt pretty strong, but don't worry, I regret these feelings later. While mining, I found a golem, and upon killing it, I got a world stave. World staves are essentially banners as they provide you stats when you summon them, but I couldn't use them because I didn't have enough mana. When I got enough platinum, I made the druidic altar, which is where most of our crafting is going to take place at, and I used this to create Dryad's armor. And now at this rate, I felt pretty powerful, like I'm not gonna lie, right? I had a stave, some armor, and so I challenged the first boss, which is the King Slime, and then I realized that my DPS was so low that it rivals the chances of me hitting only 69 likes on a video. So please guys, let's max out at 16. Anyway, I died to the slimy dude. How fun. No. I crafted the boreal stave instead, and this fairy is way better than the acorn stave fairy. This one shot crazy projectiles, but the stave itself shot like these little needles, which was kind of poopy. I tried fighting another boss called Thorn, which is a nature boss, and I don't know what I was thinking, and I just got pricked to death. I knew that I needed a DPS upgrade, but what weapon do I get? You know, where would I go for DPS? And that's exactly when my brain began functioning again, as it told me to go kill some animals. And so I turned to grinding at night, where new surface bats will spawn and drop moonflare fragments. So while at night I was getting these fallen stars for some mana and farming for these moonflare fragments, and when I got enough mana, I used and summoned the world stave for the first time, and it gave me endurance and something else, but it was pretty nice. But eventually I was able to get those fragments that I was talking about, and I made the moonflare stave. The DPS of the stave was actually super good, so I was pretty confident that we could kill a boss now. I built more houses for the NPCs, started my elevator, and I got some more platinum for the King Slime spawner. When I summoned the King Slime, the DPS was alright, but I was able to kill the King Slime after strategically and menacingly walking to the left and walking to the right. Yes, I know I'm a combat expert, please stop clapping. Thank you so much though. After the fight, I started making a grass garden to grow the spawner for the thorn boss. You know, that prickly guy from the beginning that killed me. But then I saw this in the chat. Oh boy. Drama. An epic battle ensued, and victory was so close in my grasp, but I couldn't do it. I took my rage out in an efficient way by contracting and building houses, like a lot of houses. To get my revenge, I fought the Eye of Cthulhu again, and although my DPS sucked, with enough caution, I killed the Eye of Cthulhu. I used the Crimtane order that I got to craft the Crimson Stave, and my DPS became so much better that I was actually able to kill the Eye of Cthulhu 2 more times. So yes, this was the DPS upgrade that I needed. So now we're actually getting into business. I made the Cold-Blooded Druid armor with some Crimtane and ice, and I went down into the caverns to farm skeletons. These guys drop little lost souls that apparently take forever to spawn, like literally forever, because after 1 to 2 hours of farming, I only had a handful of them. But these souls could be used to craft armor and some weapons, so I had to farm them no matter what. But anyway, I was able to craft a lost soul armor, and I fought the Keeper boss. Now this boss was part of the mod of Redemption, but this guy was so cool that I just had to put him in this video. So this guy was actually pretty easy, but check it out. Cool design, nice atmosphere. Too bad he's dead. I then made the Keeper summon item, which summoned these dark spirits, and I also made the Copper Cross, which is an accessory for the Druid, and I upgraded it to this spiritual relic. I don't really want to go too in depth with the accessories because I totally pay attention to all the stats, but basically just know that this accessory is a Druid accessory and it's good. And then the Goblin army came, and they were so annoying, so I killed them all like usual, and it only took me 20 minutes because my DPS was so amazing. Afterwards, I went into the Crimson, and after a long and painful fight, I killed the Brain of Cthulhu using the power of nature, but I couldn't do anything with the stuff I got, so the fight's loose was basically useless. Of course, other than getting the Nightmare Pickaxe. I mined a meteor, and then I killed the Thorn boss. I killed me at the beginning of our playthrough, and it's not really worth explaining because I killed him so fast. But after that, I made my elevator even more deeper with some bombs. I collected some black rocks from lava and water, and I went back home. Following this, I went and fought Skeletron. With my poopy DPS, it was the most intense battle so far because it took so long to kill him, and I almost died so many times because my defense was at best mid-tier. But I was able to clutch it up and kill the guy. Now here's a new and cool boss. I crafted an anomaly detector, and this happened. A strange portal portal appeared, and after killing the portal, the Seed of Infection boss emerged. Now this boss is a mod of Redemption boss, but this guy right here introduces the Infection, and as a guardian of nature, I must defend against it. It was really fast and summoned a tanky projectile, and I was only able to keep up with its speed by running in a straight line. But luckily, my DPS was good enough to do some damage, and I spammed the Shield of Cthulhu and made use of my floaty set bonus. When the battle was over, this appeared on my screen. Creatures in the world were now going to be infected, and I have no idea what that means. I went to the dungeon to explore after Skeletron's death, and to my surprise, I died. But then I found the Goblin Tinkerer. I also found a Skeleton Druid, and guess what? It dropped a depressed mushroom bag. I'm just kidding, it was called a Gloom Shroom bag. Now at this point of the playthrough, I thought that staves were the only weapons for the Druid, but no. Like I said, you can get these seed bags, and let me tell you, dude, these shrooms were absolutely insane. These mushrooms were shooting stuff through the walls, and they did a lot of good damage. Not only that, but this seed bag in particular had a bonus where if you planted it on skeleton blocks or bone blocks, you would actually get a bonus which does more damage. So that was so cool, and honestly, this concept was so awesome. After grinding enough skeletons, I was able to make another Druid armor set called the Gloom Armor. That's right, homies, we have Shroom Armor. Now we have some defense going on. Now to get some more DPS, I got some Hellstone and I crafted a Molten Stave, but that wasn't it. I was going to craft the Knight's Edge version of the stave, so I went to get the Muramasa version of the stave at the dungeon. I searched around and eventually I got it, and the Guardian Spirit summon for this stave looks awesome. I already had the Crimson Stave, so I just needed to get the Jungle Stave. So I went to the jungle to get some Stingers, Jungle Spores, and eventually I crafted the Jungle Stave. And then with all of them, I crafted the Lunar Crescent Stave, aka the Knight's Edge version, and tested it out against the King Slime. And let me tell you, I was just shocked in disappointment. The DPS wasn't too bad, but I was gonna fight the Wall of Flesh, which is underground, and you know how the staff attacks? It attacks from the sky, so we need another weapon. But anyway, I built my flimsy wooden platform over the molten lava and summoned the squishy wall, and guess what? I actually killed it. Apparently the shrooms were so strong that they were able to take it down, which was unbelievable. But anyway, the first thing I did in hard mode was die. So I went through the hard mode ores and made the adamantite stave and seed bag, but guess what? They suck. But at least the Adamantite Guardian looks pretty cool. I wanted a new weapon, but the new weapon didn't want me because I tried to make a spirit weapon from a wyvern, but I literally couldn't kill the wyvern, like at all. I eventually killed one and I crafted my first spirit weapon. Like I said before, druids can use 3 types of weapons, but I haven't used the spirit one yet. And when I used it, guess what? This thing absolutely shreds. I farmed for some more souls, crafted some sexy ice wings, and was aiming to get another armor set called the Wandering Soul Armor. There are armor sets for each subset of the Druid, and this one was going to be focused on the spirit aspect to complement my wyvern. I needed some pixie dust, and after getting like 45 of them, which took 1 to 2 hours, I made this sexy suit of armor, and my wyvern had evolved into a mini Stardust Dragon. Now there was some mod of redemption stuff that I did. I basically killed this infected Eye of Cthulhu, and that's kind of it. I built more houses after that, but yeah. Now I was ready to fight the mechanical bosses. I summoned the Destroyer, and check that out. Look at that damage. Unfortunately, that's not consistent for the rest of the run, but I was able to kill the metal worm anyway. With the hollowed bars I got, I made a hollowed stave, which was subpar at most, and I also fought and killed Skeletron Prime. This fight personally costed me my dignity because it took so long to kill him that I had to hold in my poop to continue fighting. After that, of course, I killed the twins, and with all of their souls, I made this crazy new stave. This is called the Ring Stave, and check it out. It shoots out these rings that leave behind more rings that can potentially buff you. On top of that, it even bounces off the wall. So this stave was amazing. On top of that, I made another world stave, which increased my attack and stuff, so that was pretty nice. And then for the next few days, I went into the Mod of Redemption's lab, which isn't really important for this video, but I did get a sexy new armor set called the Scarlet Armor and the Scarlet Stave. Now this is actually the thing though. The Scarlet Stave's Guardian ability is to shoot quadruple of your current projectile. But what if I could just use the ability and switch to my Ring Stave? I did some more Mod of Redemption stuff that I'll cover in another video, which is not important to this video like I said, but I did get this flamethrower, which is noteworthy because you know what flamethrowers are good for? Burning plants. After I killed Plantera, I went to the dungeon and I began farming some ectoplasm for some new armor. And guess what? It of course took an ungodly amount of time, but I did make the Wisp armor and a new soul weapon. Now here's the really cool part. Basically have a spirit level when you use spirit weapons, and since I'm using spirit armor, it makes my level to about 7. So my spirit weapon does this. But then I made a druid charm dedicated for spirit levels, and it brought my level up to 10 or something like that, and now this is the new attack. It looks kind of funky, but look at what it does to the golem. All I did was use the item and it badonked its HP, and yeah, there's a cooldown, but pretend it's not there. So this was absolutely insane, and on top of that, it even made my wyvern even stronger. So yeah, this was nice. Before I went to the lunar events, I summoned a solar eclipse, killed Mothron for some broken hero swords, but instead they're for the staves, and then I crafted the true Excalibur version of the stave and the true Knights version of the stave, and combined them to make the Terra stave. Oh yes. I then fought and killed the lunatic cultist, nothing special, and then I upgraded my druid cross into the spiritual guide or whatever it's called. And then I took an ungodly amount of time to kill all of the pillars, And right before the Moonlord spawned in, I used my fragments that I got from the lunar events to create Druid fragments for some newer Druid gear. I crafted a stave and a seed bag. Now the seed bag was okay, but the stave was absolutely insane. Its guardian was this tree or something like that, and it was just, oh my gosh, it was just crazy. But even with my new stave, regardless of everything, I died. And here are my reactions.
I just died!
I switched to another armor set specialized for the staves, and I was actually able to kill the Moonlord. I totally wasn't worried or anything, but yeah. Oh, funny, I just killed him again. But anyway, after that entire ordeal, I had enough Luminite to craft the Creation Druid armor, which looks like this. And the only thing I could say is wow. I fooled around and killed Plantera and then the mech bosses, but this armor set looks absolutely amazing. And guess what? It's not even endgame for this mod. And so if you want to see me enter the true endgame for the Druid, then leave a comment and like and remind me because I'm kind of dumb.